probably one of the most iconic American paint jobs ever. And today we're going to be putting DCC in it. Welcome back to DCC Sodor, everyone. Today we're going to be putting DCC in this lifelike Proto 2000 Santa Fe FA-2. Now this will be just a standard DCC install with no sound, but I am going to be replacing this bulb with a nice warm white LED. And I'm going to be filming the whole thing, and you'll get to see my process. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, first thing we're going to do is pull these off, these weird things here. Seem to just be wire connections for the light. Oh jeez. And twist this. Okay, we should be able to pull this. I push this little bulb out. Break the crew figures off. Uh-oh. All right. Now it's stuck in there. Okay. This way. All right. Okay, so we got this blue wire here, which looks to me like it connects to the frame here, so this might be one of the pickups. Okay. How does that come off? So I got to get this plastic piece off. If you go to TCS's website, I'll put the link in the description. They often have installation pictures. I know for a fact they have one of these Proto 2000 FA-2s. So I'll just scroll down to a lifelike Proto 2000 Alco FA-2. Take a look here. Okay. Looks like all the wires are kind of hidden underneath here. You have to like almost break this off. Like that. Ah, I see. There we go. Let's flip this guy around. Pull this one out as well. Should be able to kind of underneath here and pop this one as well. It's been getting tough. there's 3. And last but not least, number 4. Probably a better way to do this, but this method seems to be working for myself mostly. Or not. Last one's being stubborn. Aha, I can see the diode under there for the directional lighting. Come on. There we go. Well, that one broke off completely, but that's okay. So now I'm going to have to get my soldering iron out and get some of these wires off and trace them and see where they go. All right, I'll be back when I have my soldering iron out. All right, as my soldering iron heats up here, get out my little nippers and nip away at these little plastic posts here. Oh man, these are tough little guys. There we go. There's one. There's my iron starting to heat up. Snip this one as well. Oh, there we go. And then the last one. That one went flying. Oh well. Okay, let's get this diode bridge off. So I'm actually gonna take a pair of tweezers. To hold this so I don't burn myself. Might be able to get some. Let me try something for a second. Just gonna pull 2 of these wires through to check and see, check on them. Okay. Now we won't need those. Need this. Let me turn up the heat a little bit. Okay, that was weird. My phone just like stopped recording. Work at this a little bit. So you're gonna rotate your soldering iron to get a little bit more heat. It's gonna be a uncooperative melt. Start bending and pushing on the and then sometimes if that's not working, just like snip the wires there. Wow, that's hot. Snip the blue wire here. Don't need the diodes. And even try to unsolder from that little tab there. Trying to see if I can do that. This wire, I'll probably have to pop this tab up here without losing the spring contact. Do that, and I can use my helping hands to get a better grip on here. That way, focus please. I might actually be able to solder that's already on here. Or not. This is pretty hard. I don't usually have that much trouble unsoldering wires. Let me give this a shot. There we go. Sometimes it just takes the right angle. They come right loose. All right. Okay, there we go. That came loose. So now I'm gonna let that go for a minute so it can cool. I'm gonna put that back on and I'll be right back. All right, so I got this wire stripped and this wire stripped. So now I can go ahead. Nice little dab of solder there and there. Okay. Now that we've got that done, figure out where our decoder will fit. Come on out of there. All right. So our decoder should fit nicely right there. And I believe that it does. It might even fit better this way. But as long as it's not above here, it will fit happily inside our locomotive. So now I just got to figure out how I'm going to wire it all in. So I'm going to guess this is positive on top, and that this red wire here is going to be the negative connection to the motor. Or I could check that. I believe I have some loose wire. I can unstrip. I'll give it a dab of solder as well. Do that off screen here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we have this wire. We're gonna be harder than I thought. This plus here. Well, maybe that's not touching there. Try testing it like this. It's the negative. All right, so the bottom is actually the positive. Good to know. So that will mean that our orange wire will connect here, and our gray wire will connect up here. So I am going to do the liberty of cutting off the purple wire here because we're not using that one. The green wire, and I believe the yellow wire. Let me double check. Green wire. Check the packet here. And I am indeed cutting the yellow wire. Cut all these wires down actually, but for right now, I'm just going to cut off the ones I need. There we go. So now we're down to a little more manageable 6 wires. The black one won't have to be very long at all. The blue one can go right on the track. Right to this, the red and the blue can connect. It's really not a big deal which one is which, but it looks like that. The right side here, the engineer's side, would be this frame here, and then the fireman's side, or the left side, would be this black here. So we're going to connect black to black, and then connect blue to red. So I'm actually going to put this here, snip this one, give it a little extra length, but snip it about there, and strip it. Once it's stripped, I'll tin it. And then once it's tinned, I will hold it here and get my nice locking tweezers, which can squeeze. Oh, careful. Maybe there. Nope, it's still. Grab both. There we are. Let's grab them both. And then I add a little bit of solder. Ah, no, don't do that. Okay, there we go. Stop doing that. Actually, before I get that, and I threw all the wires everywhere, I need to get a piece of heat shrink tubing. I often forget about that part. It's a super important step. You always want to have a little piece of heat shrink tubing. Now, I'm using red. I would recommend black, but red is what I have, so I will use it. That's okay. There should have gotten all 3 wires. Not the best connection, but as long as they're all staying together, it's all that matters. Just make sure we can get this little heat shrink over top, which we can. And from there, take the soldering iron, and the heat off of the iron should let this tubing shrink up. Indeed it is. Usually that's pretty good. And take a look here. So I set this there. Red wire needs to be just about the same length. Maybe even a little shorter. We'll strip it off. There we go. Okay. So now let's take our little piece of heat shrink, wherever it may have wandered off to. Here it be. There it is. Whoops. Snip some of that off. And my battery is getting low. Phone. Close that. And I will try to. First, I need to grab my iron. That's a good connection. All right. Usually want to do this from the bottom. Since heat rises, it'll help it shrink better. And yeah, there it goes. And so far, so good. That looks like the power pickup's all done. And then we got this wire here, which will match with our orange wire, which again can be about that long. So I'll cut it there. I always want to have the wires maybe a little longer than shorter, because too short you have to add, and taking away is a lot easier than adding to. Uh-oh. That obviously was not shrunk enough. And there goes the home phone. Oh, man. Let's try holding this. Sometimes you gotta get the iron right on it to get it to really shrink up. There we go. Now that shouldn't move. It's gonna be hot, but yeah, that's hot. But that ain't moving. So I'm happy with that. And then I'm gonna take this wire here. This will be the last piece I need for just a little bit. And I'm gonna feed that in here. And get this wire again, or get my soldering iron again, and we're gonna connect these. There we are. cursed. Aw, man. It's not good. And that piece of crap is no good. Let me get a new piece here. And sometimes this happens. Oh boy, almost burned my arm. Better get the tweezers out for this one. Did I tin this? Maybe I didn't tin this wire. That's why it didn't stay together. I don't know, I don't think I did. Alright, let's do that first. Okay, there we go. Now I lost my tweezer. Here they go. So I think I did singe some arm hair off of it. Son of a gun. It's a crappy soldering job. I almost thought I forgot to put the piece of heat shrink on it. I will say this is not as easy doing it on camera as it is, especially when you got to put the camera right in front of you. Okay, let's keep going. Shrink this guy up. Ooh, almost burned the wire. Yeah, it should be okay. This piece of heat shrink. Happy with that. Okay, so we're gonna have to turn this guy around. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this without burning you. So I'm also gonna cut this one just about there. And there we go. Do that. Yes. Very nice. Very, very nice. There goes my work phone. I don't know why that keeps going off, but it does. Okay. So now I lose my tweezers again. There we are. Okay, let's get some of these wires pulled out around in front of the crew's face. Good thing they're not painted. They're not like sentient crew figures yet. It's gonna be tough to get these to melt together. Ah, boogers. Haha, there we go. All right. So what I'm gonna go do now is actually, before I do that, I'm gonna double check to make sure that this good old LED will fit through here. Seems that it will. I'm gonna go test this on the test track, and I'll be right back. All right, so good news is this decoder works and everything functions properly, moves forward when it's supposed to and moves backwards when it's supposed to. So now, only thing left is adding in the LED lights. So I'm going to leave the decoder on, and I'm going to make sure brown is positive and black is negative. So let's give her an old test. Hey, what is it? Oh, that could be why. Hey, look at that. You can see it on video. Nice golden white. Looks really good if you ask me. And, all right. Let's solder it in. So I'm actually going to snipper it about here so I can work with it. Pull it out to strip the wires. Come on. Easy does it. Oh man. These are tough to strip sometimes. I don't know why. Oh. Yeah, so I gotta do it off screen. I can't see. All right. Okay. After we're done, put in some flux. And then after, whoops, damn it. Let me get this out of the way. So let's see. I shall put some of this. Diode bridge, that's garbage. There we go. Some happy. Oh, that's a little too much solder. There we go. So that was probably all out of focus for you. Hope not completely. I'll flip this decoder over. I hope I don't get copyright strikes for like Whistling Thomas themes or something. That would not be good. So I like to do that quite a lot when I'm doing this. Snip it off. Oh, you can't even see all that. I snipped all that off. Strip it again. Gonna have to get closer. So this won't be on camera. Sometimes you can strip these wires with like your fingernails. Don't always recommend doing that, but a lot of guys do that. Not my cup of tea per se, but it does work. Okay, I'm off to the left here, tuning these wires. I'll get that glob of solder off with my nice sponge. Okay, so the white is the negative. So first, where'd my heat shrink tubing go? Here it be. Cut this piece in half. And in half again. That should be enough. Piece on there. And a piece on there. If it's not enough, I'll put some Kapton tape around it. So, let's go here. Pull the soldering iron out. Yes, I am left-handed, if anybody was wondering. That's why soldering iron always comes in from the left. Yeah, there we go. Whoops. Let's get those a little bit closer. Yes. Like that. That's a really fine connection right there. Very pleased with that. So let's slide the piece of heat shrink. Pieces of heat shrink. Relieve some of this tension. As oh crud. Oh, I can still get that in there. It's going to do this differently, but I should still be able to get the LED right where I want it. And this LED I got off of Amazon, and it was a pre-wired 12 ohm pre-wired with a 1000 ohm resistor on the positive leg, so that I don't blow it with my DCC decoder, as this is only rated for 3 volts, and the LED that I have is only rated for 3 volts. So with that pre-wired resistor on, it can withstand 12 volts. It kind of gets into the science of current and LEDs, which I'm not going to get into, even though that's what I majored in college. You don't want to hear me talk about that, because I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. So I'm not going to do that. That's my soldering iron getting probably way too hot. As maxing out the temp is not always the best idea, but it helps shrink up this heat shrink tubing very, very well. I'm gonna slide this, feed this LED in there. Oh crap. Trust me, I'll get better at doing this on camera, but for right now, this is the first in a very, very long series of installing DCC decoders in many of the American locomotives I have. Okay. There is our LED in place. Very happy with that right there. I'm going to put the decoder right there. I'll probably get some heat shrink tubing out, and I'm going to turn my soldering iron off and move it out of my way so I don't burn myself. Let's get out some of this capped on tape. So if you don't know what that is, you can get that on Amazon as well. It's really good thin orange tape, great for soldering. I'm actually going to adjust the camera here. There we go. I think that's the view I had before. And we're gonna plop the decoder down. I'm gonna take a piece of the tape, cut her off. Okay, one last piece here for going around them, for the wires that are around the motor to kind of keep them away from the flywheels. Put that there, stick that there, go right down. Oh, let's go here, go right down and over. And those should not drag any of the flywheels. Nope, pretty happy with that. And with that, I'm going to call this installation complete. I'm going to put the shell back on. See the nice sexy orb on it. My favorite Santa, one of my favorite paint schemes in all of American railroading. And of course, oh man, I just glued that back on. Didn't stick very well. Have to figure out some better way to glue this little fan piece on. But anyways, calling this installation complete, I'm going to take it down to the layout. And unfortunately, it doesn't have couplers yet because I need to get the correct KDs that will fit. But other than that, it's ready to go. All right, so we've got this guy on the rollers. Turn the light on. Alright, so I can call this DCC install complete. Now it's time to put some couplers on it, and it'll be ready for the layout. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.